All right. So NCAA and paying NCAA athletes to play or allowing them to profit off their name and likeness. Okay. Now this is one of those, age-old conversations at bars, barbershops, taxi cabs. But I think I try to take a rational and a really even approach to all things in our society, all different pieces of conversation, all different pieces of contention. I like to see, okay, what's the best and what's the most right thing to do? I usually look at these things from the perspective of, okay, if I listen to your perspective, I already know mine, but now I listen to your perspective. Usually there's going to be some sort of adjustment there. You may say something that's completely absurd, but I get why you said it. So I make a small modification to the way I say it. So that way you may never agree with me, but I know how to properly speak with you so you at least understand me. And maybe that's as far as we can go. And there are sometimes you hear different proposals on different things that you may disagree with someone on. And then you say, you know what? No, I said what I said. They said what they said. But which is more right? And I think with NCAA and allowing players to profit off their name and likeness, I think what I've settled on is what is the more correct choice. To do that, I looked at NCAA athletes and I compared them to other, you know, forms of entertainment in our society, singers, actors, and so on. And when I do that, I think the only right and the only correct way forward is to allow any athlete in the NCAA to profit off their name and likeness. Let me explain why. There's an argument that says, well, I like collegiate sports better than pro sports because they're not playing for money. They're playing for the love of the game. On the surface, that feels, I can understand why someone would feel that way. However, I have to respectfully disagree. When you're watching collegiate sports on television or you're paying a ticket to go see it, those kids are not playing for no money. There's money being made, they're just not getting it. There are large cable and TV rights, there are advertisements throughout these games, there are physical billboards and ads inside the actual stadiums themselves. You know, my rule is this: if you're a singer and people were paying millions of dollars a year to come see your show, I'm gonna say whether you're 7 years old like Michael Jackson in Jackson 5 or you're 37 years old, you should probably be getting paid some of that gate because I don't know that people are showing up to watch people coach. I don't know that people are showing to see at to praise athletic directors. I don't know that people buy jerseys for assistant coaches, equipment managers. No. If you're the box office, you should probably get paid. I say all the time, if you and I went out to the park with our kids, that's amateur sports. What these guys are doing is a professional level product. You have pregame, postgame, professional magazine style studios to sell you this product. Large marketing campaigns. People pay top dollar to advertise during these games. People pay billions of dollars for the rights to broadcast the actual games. That's not a amateur sport. Okay? What you and I do, that's amateur sports. What they do, that's pro sports. Some will say, well, okay, you can't pay the players because if you pay the basketball and the football players, how do you account for the archery players or the guys on the wrestling team who may not be in a revenue producing sport? And I say this, guys, if I can turn on ESPN 2 or 3 or 8, whatever it is, and see your archery match, there is money being made. It may not be a profitable program, but there is revenue being generated. And the way I go to solve that is say, guys, whether you're the star quarterback or the archery player or the table tennis player who might qualify for the Olympics, allow that person to profit off their name and likeness. If you're a table tennis player and you have great charisma and you have great personality, you just, for whatever, you just develop a really good social media following, you should probably be able to benefit from that. Same thing, if you're Reggie Bush, you should probably be able to sell, your own merch. You should probably be able to sell appearances in the off season because honestly, guys, yeah, we have to be honest. If you some will say, well, they get a scholarship to play football, and they're getting free education, and that's compensation. Let me tell you something right now, okay? As Zion Williamson, which would you have preferred? The free $80,000 a year scholarship or the ability to make $3 million a year while at Duke? He probably would have said, I'll pay for my own tuition, please let me on. And I think if you allow most players that choice, some will say, give me the scholarship because they're not as able to generate the revenue or the buzz that Zion would. And some will say, no, you don't have to give me anything. I'll pay my own way. Allow me to make money off my room and board. And I feel that's the most correct way forward. If you're a wrestler, an archer, and you are not in a position where you can generate revenue on your own, you can have the option to just accept the scholarship and get the education. You might be good enough to be an Olympic level archer, an Olympic level fencer, and for you, it was really worth it. You maxed out your value in terms of what you were bringing to the university and what you got back for your athletic prowess. If you're Zion, if you're Kevin Durant, any one of the one and done players, I'm sorry. I'll pay my own $80,000. We'll go from there. Some may say, well, won't that ruin the amateurism? Again, I say, guys, you and I play amateur sports. These guys don't. Okay, you cannot compare what you and I can do to what they can do. I'm sorry. No way, no two ways about it. Okay, it's like someone who watches a documentary on card counting by those MIT students who goes out and tries to buy all these books to be to go and break their local casino. Guys, you and I can play blackjack. Those guys are doing something a little different. Those guys are we're not them. And that's okay. And I think that's the more correct way for us to approach that debate. And if everyone just looked at it that way, it'd be okay. Guys who need the scholarship will take it. Because remember, if you don't perform, they take it away from you. I mean, that's not amateurism. If you can lose your education if you don't actually perform on the revenue side. If we can take away the monetary value that we're promising, the education we're promising because you're not performing well enough, or they've recruited a new class and there's someone that's going to be a little bit better than that's going to edge you out and you don't make that team, that's not amateur sports, guys. Again, the only amateur sports that are recorded in America today are the ones that the videos that you take on your cell phone while watching your kids' games. Those are the only amateur sports that are recorded. Once ESPN, FSN, once a major broadcast or regional network is at your game, that's not amateur sports, guys. Even if they're not at your game, even if you're Division 3, again, you should be allowed to make money off your likeness. Sports is the only true meritocracy that we have. There are some exceptions, like in the NFL, where a guy can still be really good, but he's a salary cap casualty. But for the most part, sports is the only true meritocracy that we have in our system of finance, our system of earning money today in the United States. And I don't think this disincentivizing people to express themselves and max out on their talent is 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 conducive to what we say we are as a country. Anyway, those are my 2 cents on that. Let me know what you think.